What's up YouTube, welcome back to another video on my channel Skotrix, and today as you can see we are back on NBA 2K20, well sort of, we're not actually on the game today. Instead I'm on this website NBA2KLab.com, and as y'all could probably tell by the title, I'm going to be doing breakdowns for all the takeovers, talking about what they do good, what they don't really do good, and then at the end of the video I'm going to be ranking all the takeovers in order of what I think is the best to the worst. So first I'm going to start off by shouting out this website NBA2KLab.com. If you guys don't know what this website is, they do a ton of tests on different badges, and you could find their different badge tests right here. Shooting, you know, they have tons of results for different tests. They do a lot of good stuff to help players out. You know, they got hot zones, how they affect players, you know. But what we're going to be focusing on today is the takeover section of the website that they have here. And I'm going to be talking about each individual takeover and the stats that it increases, as you can see here, and then the extra, obviously, animations that you can get from the takeover and other abilities that takeover can unlock. For example, like the rebounding takeover right here, you guys probably know if you have this takeover equipped, when somebody shoots the ball, if it's going to miss, you can see where the rebound is going to end up on the floor. There's a little target. So that would be an example of a special ability that a takeover would have that wouldn't be visible in these stats. But yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna get into it right here. First I'm gonna talk about this little thing they have on the side here. It basically just says in addition to these boosts that you can get from the takeover, which is these things right here, you can also get extra animations and stuff, which is what I was just talking about. And also that the ratings that it shows either go up by +5 or +10, and that if you have a natural rating above 90, so if you have like a 99 3-pointer and you have the sharpshooting takeover, which gives a +10 3-pointer, then you could get your 3-pointer up to 109. So that's one thing that you may not have known about takeovers. You know, if you have a 99 3-pointer and the sharpshooting takeover, you can get 109 3-pointer. You know, if you have a 99 driving dunk and the slasher takeover, you can get 109 driving dunk. So that's something really cool that a lot of people don't know. But now I'm gonna get into breaking down the individual takeovers, and I'll start with slasher here. Basically for slasher, the stats you get are obviously all your finishing stats and your close shot. So driving dunk, standing dunk, driving layup, close shot. And then you also get draw foul, which is a really underrated stat. I believe it's actually considered a tendency, but it goes up with the slasher takeover, so that's really good. Shot IQ doesn't really matter. Ball handle, that's really important. That goes up with the slasher takeover, which a lot of people probably don't know. And then speed with ball, it says goes up by 0, but actually it goes up quite a bit because your speed with ball is determined by your ball handle rating and your speed rating. So if those are going up, then your speed with ball is going to go up. It just doesn't show here. And then also your offensive consistency goes up. Your speed goes up 10, which is important. Strength and vertical as well go up 10. It says acceleration goes up 0. I don't know if that's actually true, but then you can see everything else goes up by 5 basically. But other than the stats, something cool that you get with the slasher takeover is all the extra dunk animations you can get. You get obviously a way increased chance of having a contact dunk animation. And what a lot of people don't realize is because your ball handle is higher, you actually have a higher chance of even getting ankle breaker animations with this takeover. And your vertical is higher, so if you have like a two-way slashing playmaker with this takeover that already has like a 99 vertical, you're going to be jumping so high with basically 109 vertical. It's going to be really glitchy. So that's the slasher takeover. It's a pretty good takeover. Like I said, I'm going to be ranking them all at the end, but that's a quick breakdown of the slasher one. Now the defending one, or the lockdown one as most people call it, you can see obviously with this one your offensive stats are not going to go up by much. They all basically go up by 5, but the defense is where this takeover is really good. Perimeter defense, steal, both go up 10. Lateral quickness, help defense, pass perception, defensive consistency. These three right here really don't matter that much if you're controlling the player, which you're obviously going to be doing all the time, but lateral quickness is important, and then you can see speed, acceleration, strength all go up, and hustle, which again doesn't really matter. But the defensive takeover, or the lockdown takeover, also gives you a good animation boost, where it basically gives you Hall of Fame clamps ×2, because you really cannot get blown by with this takeover. It's really like having, like, I don't even know what tier would be above Hall of Fame clamps, but it's like having that. Nobody's going to be able to get by you, and if they bump into you, they're going to have to pick up the ball no matter what their ball handle is really. And this is personally my favorite takeover. It's not the best takeover in the game, but it's personally my favorite because I love playing perimeter defense. So that's that one. Now on to rebounding. And with this one, as you could guess, all the rebounding stats go up by 10. Everything else basically is up by 5. Vertical is by 10. Close shot is by 10, and rebounding is by 10. Other than that, everything else is by 5. But like I said, this takeover also gives you the ability to see where missed shots are going to land on the court. So it'll help you get a considerable amount more rebounds, especially if you have like a 90 rebound. It's going to get up to basically 100. and you'll be able to see where the ball is going, and the other players won't unless they have this takeover equipped as well. So that'll give you a big advantage, and this is definitely a good takeover, definitely one of the best for big men. So now we're going to go ahead and get into the sharpshooting takeover. This one gives +10 to mid-range, 3-point, shot IQ, which doesn't matter, offensive consistency, which I think does matter, but I'm not 100% sure. I think it may increase your ability to get hot or reduce your chances of getting cold, but I'm not 100% sure. I think that's what it does though. And then everything else is by 5, so basically just your shooting is the only thing that it really upgrades here. But it also does 2 other things. It extends your range quite a bit, so you can shoot from really deep with this takeover and get greens. And it's basically like a catch and shoot buff, so if you're shooting well where you catch the ball and you don't take a dribble, you're basically guaranteed to green with this takeover, especially if you have a high 3-point rating. I find this one is better with a high 3-point rating. If you have like a 75 3-pointer, you know, this might not be the way for you, but if you have like a 95, this takeover is really good because it basically makes it impossible to miss. That's that one. Now we're going to go on to playmaking right here. This is also one of my favorite takeovers in the game. It gives a lot of boost, driving layup. You could see pass accuracy, ball handle, speed with ball, which I believe is upgraded on some of the other takeovers. It just doesn't show it in the chart. And then you got pass IQ, vision, doesn't really matter, offensive consistency again, and that's it. But obviously there's 2 big things that come with this takeover other than the boost to important stuff like ball handle and driving layup, and that is one, obviously the ability to break defenders' ankles. Everybody knows about that. That's why a lot of people take this takeover. And then also when you pass to your teammates with this takeover, it gives them a huge boost on their ability to make the shot, basically like Dimer on steroids. So this is a really good takeover, one of the best for sure. But now we're going to go on to shot creating takeover right here, and this is another one of my favorites. I know I keep saying this, but it gives so much. Driving layup, mid-range, ball handling, so you could be taking people's ankles with this potentially, and then that's really it. But those are really important stats for this takeover to give. And obviously it increases your ability to make like fadeaway shots, leaning shots, hop step shots, or hop gathers, you know, spin gather jumpers, really anything like that. It really increases your ability to make those shots. It's like difficult shots on steroids, just like playmaking is like ankle breaker on steroids. Shot creating would be difficult shots on steroids. So it's a really fun takeover to use. It might not be the best one in the whole game, but it is really fun to use. And once you get it, if you know your timing for your shots, you will be pretty lethal with fadeaways and stuff with this takeover. If you have high ratings, lots of badges, and you know your timing, you're going to be set up. So that's the shot creating takeover. Now on to post scoring takeover. Now I'm sure many of y'all do not like this takeover just based off how other people use it, but it is a decent takeover. Obviously, as you'd expect, it gives 10 to close shot, post hook, post fade, and it actually gives 10 to interior defense as well, which is interesting. And that's basically it. Shot IQ again, that doesn't really matter. It is a little bit surprising that this one doesn't give 10 to post moves, considering it is the post scoring takeover, but it is what it is, I guess. And obviously one ability that comes with this takeover is you can back people down in the post insanely efficiently. If you've ever been trying to guard somebody who has this takeover, you know when they're backing you down, they'll just push you out of the way. But with how people are pulling the chair now in the game, that's not really as efficient of a technique. So it's still a really good takeover, but far from the best in my personal opinion. And with that being said, let's get on to the last one, and that's going to be rim protector. This one gives +10 to close shot, interior defense, block, obviously no surprise there, and that's really it. But again, it gives a lot of good block animations. It is basically like Hall of Fame Intimidator on steroids. If you guys haven't noticed, all of these takeovers seem to give some sort of ability, which is like a super badge. For Rim Protector, it would be like either the Rim Protector badge, obviously, or the Intimidator badge. Post Scorer would be like Back Down Punisher. Shot Creator would be like Difficult Shots, Playmaking, Ankle Breaker, Slasher, Contact Finisher, you know, Clamps, Rebound Chaser, so on and so on. But this takeover is really good. I recommend it for builds like Stretch 5s, where you might not have the best interior defense and you need that extra little boost. When you equip this takeover, it basically turns you into a glass lock, so it's really good. Well, not really good, but it is good for those sort of situations. It actually ranks fairly low on my list, but speaking of my list, that's what we're going to get into now. The worst takeover that I have on my list, or the 8th best, is going to be the post scoring takeover. The 7th best takeover that I have on my list is going to be the, where is it? Oh, it's right beside it. Rim Protector takeover. Then the 6th best is going to be the shot creating takeover. The 5th best is going to be the slashing takeover. 4th best is going to be the lockdown one. 3rd is going to be sharpshooting. second is going to be glass cleaner right here, and then obviously the best takeover in the game is going to be the playmaking one. Now this is just my personal list of the best based off of the stats that are here and my personal experience using these takeovers. So if you disagree, feel free to let me know in the comments. And that's going to be it for the video. One last quick shout out to NBA 2K Labs. I'm going to have their link to their website down in the description. They also have a YouTube if you want to check that out. You know, obviously they have a lot of cool stuff here you can check out. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna have a ton more banger videos on the way, so be on the lookout for that. Alright, peace!
I never change. I show love to all my brothers cause they loyal to me. I was told to keep it on you, ain't no love in the streets. Traumatizing, he was bloody, left him covered in sheets. Yeah. I never change. Still with the game. I'm still the same. Yeah, shit's the same.